You're watching HCAM TV.
HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to HCAM News Live. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy, here to fill you in with what's happening in Hopkinton. On today's edition of HCAM News Live, we have scenes from the annual Hopkinton High School Seniors Costume Contest. We have the latest Hiller sports update, including scenes from Field Hockey Senior Day, plus much more. But first with us, we have Hopkinton Water-Sewer Manager Eric Carty joining us to give us an update on some of the happenings at the DPW. Eric, how are you, and how's everything going at the DPW?
Hi, good evening, Tom. Thanks for having me on. As always, we got a pretty busy agenda going on. Probably our biggest news that we have is just in the past week or so, we brought our new blending facility online down at Fruit Street. And what that did is took all of our Fruit Street wells and brought them into one common treatment area. We've been working on this project for about a year and a half, close to 2 years. And it's really going to help not only improve water quality, but allow us to use one of our wells that was really high in manganese, so give us a little extra quantity as well. And so that will be a big improvement to the community and to the water system. So that was really good to get that finally up online. We're still working a few little kinks out, but that should be a big improvement going forward, especially where we're just coming off the big drought that we had this year. We could use that little bit of extra water from the other wells.
Yeah, and speaking of that, how is the water levels? I know we had a lot of rain, a lot of snow lately. It must be a little bit better.
Yeah, they're definitely getting better. We had over the past 2 weeks, good soaking. We had over 2 inches of rain and a couple of days storms. We had 5 inches of snow, which was several inches over the prediction last week, as everybody saw and was surprised by. So those two factors have definitely helped. We're not all the way back to normal, but we've gone from roughly about a foot deficit down to about 7 or 8 inches now. So we're slowly getting our way back there, and with predicted wetter than normal winter, hopefully everything should be all set come spring again.
And by the way, we want to remind everybody out there, if you have a question or a comment, feel free to leave it on our YouTube or Facebook live stream. So what are some of the projects that DPW is currently working on? Any road work going on around town, or is that all through?
For the most part, everything is coming to a close. Even though the weather is staying a little bit warmer, the yearly moratorium goes into effect. I believe it's November 15th. Is when the roads close down. Mostly the projects going on are the gas company finishing up their trenches uptown. The electric company on South Street, a contractor, is finishing up for Edison. They work the weekends 24/7 from Friday night till Sunday. So those are really only the big construction projects going on right now. The focus, although it's 70s and shorts weathers, the big focus down the DPW is getting everything ready for winter for the eventual snowfall to come. So we're up in that gear now. Got all of our seasonal water shut off, trying to get the leaves and everything raked up and off the well fields and get back into that hopeful winter mode.
Now, I have to ask, you're a weather guy. You always said those great weather updates of the weather trends in town. Did you expect 6 inches of snow the other day? Because I didn't expect that. I expected maybe an inch or two, but we got at least 4 or 5 here in Milford, and of course in Hopkinton it was closer to 6. Did you expect that?
No, we didn't, because the people that I follow, they're usually pretty good, and they'll predict more ahead of time than the local weather guys will, just because they want to stay on the safe side when they're on TV. But the thick of that caught everybody off guard as to just how much cold air came down and just kept producing that snow over and over and over. And we had about 5.5 in the couple places that I measured, and that I think it caught just about everybody off guard. So the highway was out. They just planning on sanding, and when it kept coming down, they actually got to put all the plows on and start plowing.
So were they all ready to go, or did they have to bring
No,
them out or something?
They were ready to go for this. They had the sanders already, so it's usually up until 3 inches that they'll salt. And once you hit that 3-inch mark, that's kind of the mark we start throwing the plows on. And with the predictions only being around 3 inches, they weren't planning on going out plowing, but they had everything ready to go just in case they did, and they ended up needing it.
Well, that's good. That was such a surprise storm. It's 2020, so we'll probably get a few of those this year. So a few months ago, you sent out a reminder telling people to avoid flushing wipes down the toilet because it was clogging pipes. I know things are a little more open now. Well, at least for now. Have you had any further problems with that, or have people been good about that?
I think people have been good about that. I think it's been such a nationwide issue. It's been on. I've seen on a lot of national newscasts. A lot of different towns have had information out there asking people not to do it. So we've been pretty lucky since the last couple of informational things we've sent out. We haven't really had any problems on that end. What we're really seeing the most of now is we're getting a lot of phone calls because we've now been through a full 6-month billing cycle. We bill every 6 months. Well, people get a bill every 6 months. We bill different sections throughout the year, and people are getting their first full bill, and we're getting a lot of calls for high water usage. And people just aren't realizing with how much they're home now, how much extra water they're using, all the extra toilet flushes, the extra dishwashers running, the washing machine. So that's what we're dealing with right now, just trying to educate everybody that, that's where all that extra use is coming. Unfortunately, people are home and where they would normally be using water at the office. That water is now being used at home, and it's being reflected in their bills.
Yeah, that must be difficult for towns like Hopkinton or towns that don't have as many office buildings as like a city would, that is used to the amount of water being used on a daily basis because you got so many people working from home. Has that been a difficult thing for the town?
The good news for us is, we had the drought, which was difficult, but now that we're the end of about 2 weeks ago, as soon as we started really hitting the cold weather, although everybody was supposed to have the sprinklers off because of the mandatory water ban, we could tell by the usage they still had some on. It must have been late at night when we couldn't see them. But definitely the water use came down quite a bit all the last 2 weeks when we had those 20-degree days. So we picked up that extra amount of water that can be used during the day. It doesn't make as big a difference. Lets us still replenish the aquifer, not run the wells as long, and then we can make up that difference for all the people that are being home using that extra water.
How were people with the not using the water? Did you have to go ticket somebody or show up at their house?
Yeah, for the most part, the vast majority of people are really good. They understand it. When it's pretty obvious to most that we were in a significant drought period, and when it comes to having water to drink, and we had unfortunately the big fire uptown. That's where we really need to have the water for those two issues, for daily usages and for putting out fires. So for the most part, people do listen. There's always a few that always going to try to cheat the system, and we did go around, hand out several notices. And when we get to this point, a lot of people will have their neighbors end up turning them in, because if they can't use their water, they don't think the neighbors should be watering the lawn. So we get a lot of calls that way, and we'll go out and let them know, say, hey, not only you're not supposed to be using your water, but everybody in your neighborhood knows you're using it, so you might want to stop.
Right. What's the water level out at now? Are we still in a drought, or I know it's higher, but what's the I guess the color code? There's the color code.
Yeah.
Right?
The good news is that the drought monitor actually comes out every Thursday. So today's drought monitor now picked up all of the past 3 weeks worth of water that we picked up between the 2 inches of rainstorm and the 5.5 inches of snow. So we're back to just moderate drought. There was almost 80% of the state was in severe drought, and now all of the severe drought has gone away, and it's just down to the lower levels, which is good. So this next week coming up is supposed to be real hot, 70 with no precipitation. So we'll probably kind of maintain. And then again, the good news is with all the sprinklers being off, that's really the thing that really draws down the aquifers quickly. We should be able to maintain in the winter, and hopefully with the predicted precipitation being higher than normal, that will help get us back into really good shape come springtime.
Well, and obviously water usage outside is dying down a bit now, but is there still any restrictions in place that people should know about?
They are still in effect. There's still no outside usage, and most of that is based off of the levels at the Hopkinton Reservoir. That is starting to come up, slightly as well. So once those levels reach, there's a determined number that it hits, then we'll be able to take those off because, people would definitely want to be washing the cars when the salt starts getting down on the road.
And lastly, what are some of the things that people should pay attention to in their homes with winter coming, as far as like avoiding bursting pipes and things like that? Is there anything that people should be paying close attention to as the cold weather approaches? Obviously not this weekend, but likely very soon.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Actually, it was a call last weekend. We had those couple 20-degree mornings, and we had a call, though it wasn't on town water. The YMCA had a burst pipe because the outside faucet was on, and it doesn't take long with 20 degrees for that to freeze. And then the next day when it warmed up, it broke. So this is the time of year, though. Yeah, as soon as those 70-degree days are gone, you want to make sure you turn off all your outside faucets, drain those out. Usually the sprinkler systems, people mostly hire someone to come in and blow those out, make sure all the water's out of those. And then you just really want to protect the cellar. Some of the older homes that have the fieldstone foundations, we always recommend every year you go down in the cellar. If you feel any breeze coming in that's near any of your pipes, you just want to make sure you fill in those cracks in the foundation there or insulate your pipes just to make sure they don't freeze.
Well, that's some great information. And thank you so much for joining us, Eric. And we hope everything goes well at the DPW. Hopefully you won't have too much snow to deal with. But as I said, it is 2020. So I'm expecting the worst as far as winter weather. But thanks so much for joining us.
All right, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Tom.
All right, that's Eric Carty, Water Sewer Manager over at the Hopkinton DPW. And of course, you could always call him up if you have any questions about the pipes in your house or the water usage. Feel free to give the Eric Carty at the DPW a call. All right, well, Hopkinton High School hosted their annual Seniors Halloween costume contest. It looked a bit different this year. They did it outside on the track, of course, because of the pandemic. But as usual, the costumes were great. So without further ado, let's take a look at the annual Hopkinton High School Seniors Costume Contest.
It's gonna be on April. Yeah, bro. Yeah. I can count the people I don't hate on two hands. They're the Heathers.
Blue?
I think it's just red. Looking good over here. hate you so much. You missed once and you had one shot and you blew it. Just like everything else in your life. Because you're
Why would put Aiden Rowell in the lead of anything is beyond me, but here we are. One of the most entertaining seasons I've seen of The Bachelor. Most original single duo is the great duo of Maverick and Goose. Congratulations. And the most original small group under 5 people is our wonderful Miners of Gold, the Gold Diggers on the back of the track. Please wave, Gold Diggers. Okay, very good. Congratulations. Nice jackets. Most original large group are those monarchs of the dairy, the Dairy Queens. Congratulations. Scariest group out here, really good, is Purge Election Year. How fitting. The most engaging, which is very odd, is the insurance advertisers. Don't know how they won as insurance advertisers, but excellent costumes. Funniest group out there are those septuagenarians falling in front of me all of the time. Our Life Alert, really good group there, and they're falling once again. They can't get up. Very sad. Okay, thank you so much. Here's what we're going to do. The Harry Potter crew. You're going to start.
And there you have it, some scenes from the Hopkinton High School Seniors Halloween Costume Contest. And always some great costumes. They do a great job. But right now, we are going to take a short break on HCAM News Live. We will be right back with the latest in Hillers sports. So stick around, a whole lot more coming up. And as always, thank you for watching HCAM. More ahead. Stay tuned. HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance.
Help your community to collect food for the Project Just Because Hopkinton Food Pantry, the Scouting for Food Drive.
Place food items for donation in plastic bags near your mailbox by 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Some items the food pantry is in most need of include
Gift cards,
Canned meats,
gluten-free foods,
baking items,
paper and cleaning products, and toiletries.
If you wish to donate but don't have enough time to shop, you can donate online.
Thank you for helping our local residents in need.
And that's certainly always a great program. The Hopkinton Girl Scouts teaming up with the Cub Scouts for the Scouting for Food program to get food for the Project Just Because, as well as the Hopkinton Food Pantry. Well, Hillers Sports was in action this past Monday and Tuesday after being snowed out and rained out this past weekend. So without further ado, let's get right into the highlights from the Hillers taking on Ashland. This past Monday, Hopkinton JV Girls Soccer kicked off a doubleheader of games versus Ashland. It was a scoreless game all the way until 2 minutes left in the third quarter, where Ashland scored to make it 1-0. By Graziano. For Ashland is Friedman. Into the box. Sent back to the goaltender, and no, it's going to end up being a goal. Shortly after, the Hillers responded. Nina Brooks evened up the game. That was a pretty good boot there by Van Buren. On the near side, here comes Cincinnati sending it down, looking for Hayward. Aired out in front, and that is in. What a beauty of a goal. Nina Brooks off the pass from Cincinnati makes it 1-1.
Hopkinton and Ashland JV ended in a 1-1 draw. In the varsity game, Ashland scored a nice goal with 11 minutes left in the second quarter to make it 1-0.
Maddie English on the free kick. Airs it out.
That's a goal.
Oh, that's in. What a beauty by Maddie English to make it a 1-0 Ashland lead.
Great goal. Well struck.
Shortly after, Ava Perlov set up Joanna DuPont for a goal.
Beal. And here comes Perlov. Takes a shot, and just with
That's
that, it's put in.
Great shot from DuPont.
Then a few minutes later, the Hillers added yet another. Gabriella Siri set up Lexi Trendle to make it 2-1.
Gabriella Siri.
This is a perfect time for a shot.
Siri.
Oh, great play.
And that is
Excellent.
in. So Siri put it towards the net.
Yep.
And then it looks like it went off of Trendle.
Yep, it was.
2-1 in the third quarter, and Gabriella Siri finds Joanna DuPont on a beauty of a free kick.
She might go all the way to the net with this. You never know. Nice one out in front.
Nice
DuPont
shot from
with a
DuPont.
goal!
Well taken.
That's the second goal of the day for DuPont.
The Hillers would win by that 3-1 score and improve to 4 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties on the season. On Tuesday, November 3rd, Hillers JV Field Hockey kicked off a triple header of Hillers games. Ashland would score the lone goal in the second quarter.
And some nice defense today. Here comes Ashland. Good stop there. Into the box, looking for a shot, and there's a goal.
Wow.
That was a nice pass right in front for Sophie Porter to lace it in.
And that's how the score would stand. Ashland wins a good defensive battle, 1-0. In Game 2 of the triple header, Hillers varsity field hockey celebrated senior night before they took on Ashland.
All right, folks. Unfortunately, we're going to have to move ahead as we are almost out of time. We got Terry Malisi standing by. She will have a new episode of The Gathering, but we do want to remind you there'll be Hillers Sports on HCAM Ed Live this weekend, as well as our YouTube page, youtube.com/HCAMTV. We'll have a quadruple header on Saturday, November 7th against Bellingham, JV girls soccer, varsity girls soccer, JV field hockey, as well as varsity field hockey. Then on Sunday, November 8th, we'll have varsity boys soccer, followed by JV boys soccer. And also the Boston Marathon has announced they are postponing to at least next fall, so that it will not be in April in 2021. It will be next fall. Date is to be determined. And then, of course, HCAM has a new schedule. You can find more about that on our website, hcam.tv. And also all kinds of great events that you can find out about on our website. We have all the information for all these events over at our website, hcam.tv. And this is the picture of the week. It is the Hopkinton Hillers Field Hockey Senior Day display. They did a great job. They celebrated Senior Day prior to their 3-1 win over Ashland. And also, it was election day at the Brown Gymnasium over at Hopkinton Middle School. So there's a shot of that. And government meetings. We have a couple coming up on HCAM next week on Monday, November 9th at 7 p.m., the Zoning Advisory Commission and the Select Board on Tuesday, November 10th, and then on HCAM Ed on Thursday, November 12th at 7 p.m., we'll have the school committee. Well, believe it or not, we are out of time. Terry Malisi, Hopkinton's favorite party planner, coming up with the gathering in moments right here on HCAM TV. So for everyone at HCAM, thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll talk to you again soon. Have a good night, everybody.